All right, guys, what's up? Welcome back to another live stream Monday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, like we always do. Got some people here. Stephen Ryan, what's up? Business 124, Adventures with Troy, Prodigy, what's going on? Miami Mike, I Love Podcast, Randy Kendrick, got some guys in the chat already. Running a couple minutes late, a couple things I want to talk about. I already checked the video right before I came on. I already have a dislike. Before I even started, I got a dislike. Hey, nothing I can do about that. But anyway, what's up, Michael Ham? How you doing? We've got NBA Finals tonight. Joel is in the house. We got NBA Finals tonight. A couple things I want to talk about. I want to ask you guys some questions. Hopefully, you guys got some things you want to talk about. So we can keep this going for 2 hours or however long we're going to go. I am tired tonight, but hey, I'm going to go as long as you guys are here. Joel Garza says, haters going to hate. Yeah, one dislike before we even start. That's cool. But anyway, since we're talked about NBA playoffs to start, I don't have the game on. I won't run it behind me. I'll just let you guys keep me updated. Doodad, what's going on? But I'll just let you guys keep me updated on the game. But one thing is, I was watching Slab Stocks. They had a live stream last night, and they had Gary Vee on. And one thing that Gary Vee stated was that if the Bucks win a championship, or if the Bucks win it, that Giannis prices would go through the roof. I think that was the quote unquote. Giannis prices would go through the roof. And I really don't agree with that. I just feel like, what's the definition of through the roof? Because right now I believe his Prism, which is the liquid, most popular rookie card that's trading of Giannis, is at around the $2,200 mark. If it hits 3,000 after winning a championship, is that through the roof? Is an $800 increase on a card for winning a title through the roof? I mean, I guess that would be like a 30% increase. Do you see it doubling and becoming a $4,400 card? I mean, it's been over that at the peak. It's been up close to $6K. Right now it's at $2,200. I mean, really, what is through the roof? Where do you see this card landing if they were to win it? And the other thing is that what if they do win it and Giannis doesn't win the MVP? What if he doesn't win Finals MVP? What if that goes to Chris Middleton? You could see a boost in Chris Middleton type cards, but could you see a negative effect on Giannis cards if something like that happened? That's Giannis's team. He's been the MVP of the league twice. He goes down with an injury. They still play well. They make it through the finals. And if they win the MVP, and if he doesn't win the MVP but wins the finals, for him, it's a success. Yes, he wins a championship. He wins the finals. But in the eyes of everyone else, is it really a success? Because it may look like he's not the reason that they won. Ultimately, especially when it comes to investing, you're going to look at, the reason that the team won. Who carried the team? Last year, even last year with LeBron in everyone's eyes being the person who carried being named MVP, in my opinion, Anthony Davis kind of carried the Lakers through the finals. But yeah, I just feel like, where is that at? First of all, what does through the roof mean as far as Giannis cards go? What do you think is the definition of that? $3,000. I don't see that card because it happens so close to the end of the season. We always see cards go down after a championship. Are they believably, if they win it, would they believably go back as a repeat? Would that be something that people think about? I don't think so. They haven't even won it yet, and the Suns could come back and win 2 games. So this is all just what if type talk at the moment. I don't think that, like Joel says, baked in. I don't think a championship is baked in with Giannis because they didn't come in as the favorites. His cards actually went down. Everybody thought the Nets were going to win the East. They didn't. Phoenix jumped out 2-0. So I don't think that the price is baked in. And his cards haven't gone up a whole lot, even with the 3-2 lead. So I don't feel like it's baked in, but I also don't feel like there is a lot of room for growth, even if they do win it. Especially if he doesn't win MVP. I think there's more growth in cards of players like Chris Middleton or something, for a quicker flip. I don't say Chris Middleton's a long-term hold. But yeah, I Love Podcast says 2.2K is a high price for a modern basketball card. Yeah, that's true. And I mean, also, what are you talking about with modern? Like, there's ultra modern and there's modern. LeBron and Kobe are kind of modern, but even Kobe goes back to the mid 90s. When you're talking about mid 90s, you're already talking about what, 25 years old or so, or yeah, 25 years old for like a Kobe rookie. So that's it's not like that's new by any means, especially in comparison to a Giannis, which is only a card that's 8 years old. Caper Collector asking me about UFC, which I don't do a lot with UFC. Here, I think are undervalued UFC fighters to look at for card investments. Legends such as Royce Gracie, Anderson Silva, or do you think? I like the older stuff just because there's so much hype around the newer stuff. Everybody's buying the Prism. Everybody's coming in on UFC with the newer items. I think your better value is with guys like Royce Gracie or popular fighters that helped revolutionize the sport. Royce Gracie was a father of UFC, but then you had guys that helped revolutionize it like Chuck Liddell, even Randy Couture, guys like that who really got it mainstream and on television and things like that. I think there's more value to be found in those type guys. As far as investing, you put your money where you want and ultimately into who you like. But yeah, Prodigy says he thinks the public opinion will always favor Giannis for Finals MVP if Bucks win it. Doesn't matter what Middleton does. That could be true. I mean, just same with LeBron last year. That was me kind of driving that point home where I thought Davis was the better player in the finals, but LeBron won the MVP just because he was runner-up in the regular season, and it was just pretty much trademark or cliche to give it to LeBron, it seemed like. But let's see. E-Man says he thinks basketball is different from other sports when it comes to cards. Giannis might get MVP just because. Yeah, that's, again, what we're talking about. Global Sports Investor, what's going on? Merle is asking me if I'm packed. Merle, I'm not packed, man. I'm a procrastinator. I'll pack. Well, the day before I leave for Chicago, I'm actually having like a small barbecue and a pool party. So I guess I'll pack late that night. We'll see what happens. E-Man is talking about Tito Ortiz for UFC, and I don't know about that. He's polarizing. He doesn't have a lot of fans. Maybe in a concentrated area like California or wherever. He was billed from Huntington Beach. So, I mean, but he was a lot of people just really didn't like Tito. They didn't like his personality and things like that. George St. Pierre also, like Joel was saying, but George St. Pierre is already high priced. Like, people already view him as arguably the GOAT of the UFC. So his stuff is actually kind of priced up there. Sports Heroes and Collector, is there a big trade night on Thursday at the National? Yes, there is. I believe Ryan from Card Collector 2 is holding his trade night. I just got an Instagram about it probably less than an hour ago. So I don't know if he's made it official. He did IG me in a private chat. So let me see if it's official or not. But it looks like it's going to be, Thursday, July 29th is what I'm getting here on my Twitter, actually. July 29th. Let's see. I don't see the time. I got to click on the link. But at the Hyatt Regency O'Hare in Rosemont, where it will be held on Thursday, whatever time. We'll see if I stop by there or not. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on my Chicago nights because I want to take in the card show and everything throughout the day, but I may want to see some of Chicago and hang out at nights. I know Friday there's a party I believe Filmican is having that I want to check out. As far as trade nights and stuff go, I'm not really sure because I don't want to be burned out on card show and deals all day long and then also go spend my evening. You know, my evenings are when I like to relax and unwind. BT Sports Cards, how you doing? Yeah, Jeremy was cool. Maybe I can have him on for a full interview sometime, or he could have me on, something like that. Business asking about a good football hobby wax to open with the kids. Depends on maybe what year you're shooting at, I'm going to guess, if you want something really new. I'm not sure. Neo, what's going on, man? How you doing? Are you all ready for the National? You getting packed up, getting your stuff together? I ordered a new card case today. That is one thing I ordered because I'll show you real quick in my card case. My cards sit in here horizontally, and they're packed in there really tight. Anytime somebody wants to look through my cards, they kind of like got to get them out, and then you have two big stacks of slabs that they're going through. So I got one where they can fit in vertically, and you can flip through them a lot easier. And it holds more cards because I have two slab boxes here and this is stuffed full. So it's like, just got myself a new case for more room and more conveniency. Theodore, the Knicks will make a move. You think they're going to package their picks and Barrett? Where are you thinking, Theodore? What do you think they're going to get for Barrett? Who's going to want Barrett and picks? What type of player? If they're giving up picks and Barrett, they're probably targeting something big because Barrett, was a third pick of the draft. So, and they're thinking he's going to be their future. So if they're trading away a big piece of their future, they're going to have to get something that's going to have to be immediately effective. It's more of a win now type mode. Signature Sneakers already asking me about my Super Bowl pick, man. We don't even know who the 44 or however many men they have on the rosters now are going to be. The Ravens. I don't even like the Ravens. I don't think in that division. I like the Browns. I like the Browns in that division. I could see a rematch of last year's AFC Championship. Bills and Chiefs. I could see Chiefs and Browns. I could see an upset in Browns and Bills. It's going to all depend on how it plays out. I just think that I'm not on the Ravens, and I'm an AFC East fan. I'm a Dolphins fan, so I really don't like the Patriots as a fan. Ravens will be a good team. I just don't think they're even the best team in their division. I think the Browns have a lot to prove, and it's been a long time since they were competitive last year, but I mean, the Browns in the Super Bowl, has that been like never since the NFL merger? But they put together a good team there in Cleveland. They tied up some loose ends with some defense. I think they got some offensive line help. I mean, there's going to be a lot of good teams. Do I think grading Marvel cards would be a good idea when PSA opens back up? I'm going to need you to be more specific. Like, what Marvel cards are you talking about? You talking about the early Impel stuff or the 90 Impel stuff? Are you talking about some of the older stuff? The older stuff, if you can get your hands on it raw, if you can find it, period. I like older Marvel stuff. Like, let's see if I got one. I like older Marvel stuff like this 1975 stuff, these 1975 stickers. You just don't find them. Doctor Strange here and Black Widow just had her movie come out in PSA 9s. I mean, these are really tough grades, hard to find. The stickers are hard to find. I like this stuff. I would rather send in that kind of stuff because not everybody has it and they're not sending it in than the 90 Marvel Impel stuff. And it's also going to depend on what PSA opens up their pricing at. If they're charging, $100 a card or even $50 a card at bulk, probably not going to be worth it because you're going to have to get 10s to make your money back. What am I barbecuing? Just the basics. I don't get, not going to go all crazy because then I'll be out of town for a while. Just probably some chicken, some hamburgers and hot dogs, and maybe some pork chops or something. I don't know. How do I think? So, how do you think you will go making deals at the National? Um, what do you mean? Am I going to go cash? Am I going to go trade? Am I going to go both? I mean, are you asking what am I looking for? Um, what's actually the question? Uh, if I get into it a little bit, I'm going to say one of my targets at the National is going to be a nice vintage baseball card. I think every show that I go to from here on out, I'm going to get a nice vintage baseball card and start building a nice little PC of those. The Jackie Robinson is the only one I have right now. Maybe a 54 Ted Williams or a nice Willie Mays, like 53, like a second year, or even a Willie Mays rookie, as long as I can find one authentic. It's going to be a little pricey. If I go after a card like that, it's going to pretty much be strictly cash because the vintage sellers, I don't have anything to trade to them because most of my stuff is modern. They're not going to want the kind of cards that I have in trade. So when it comes to my vintage deals, I'm probably going to have to buy. Or Thursday, I'm probably going to try to sell quite a bit and just snowball some cash. Then maybe I can buy with that cash. I really don't know. I'm actually going to feel the show out when I get there. I'm not going to go with one set plan, one set budget, anything like that. When I do stuff like that, I feel like I limit myself. If I say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, I'd like to just wing it, because I never know what card I'm going to see. There might be a card that pop up that I never thought I was going to see. It really catches my attention and I want to pick it up regardless of what I got to do. So I'm not going to limit a budget for myself. This is me personally. I'm not telling you guys what you should do. You might like to plan and do things a little differently. And it all depends on what dealers are looking for as far as trade and what to buy. When I get there, I'll kind of get an idea of what sport is hot, what players are hot. I already have some cards I want to take, and I know specific dealers I want to take them to, because one thing that you can take advantage of is you can watch these vlogs. And this is one thing I like to do. I like to watch all the vlogs of all the people either setting up a vlog of them with their dealer table and showing, what they're selling and buying off other people, or vlogs of other content creators out there buying stuff and saying, hey, this is what I want. This is what I'm buying. Then I know what I need to have to approach these certain people. If I watch a vlog of dealer A and I see that dealer A is buying tons and tons and tons of this player, then I might grab myself a nice couple cards of that player if I find them in a deal, because I know I already have a target I can move them to at the show. So a lot of people put out there what they're buying on these vlogs and stuff because there's been card shows like every other week. You can kind of get an idea, engage what specific dealers or even specific buyers in general are looking for. Whatever happened to Boris? I never see his content anymore. I was kidding when I joked about you guys having him tied up under the bed in Dallas. Boris just has other personal stuff going on in his life, not for me to really speak about, but it's just family stuff. It's not bad stuff. He's just busy. He's just busy. He's got other things going on, and stepped away from the YouTube. I don't know if it's for a long time. I haven't talked to him much since Dallas, but I know even in Dallas, before he even stopped doing YouTube, he was talking about, just having a lot of busy stuff and a lot of things coming up and a lot of ideas and things he wanted to do. And he's just stretching his time a little too thin for the YouTube right now, I think. I feel if you don't have graded cards, you have a harder time trading unless it's super rare. Yeah, well, I mean, autographs and patches and stuff, I think that stuff kind of move. I do see sellers buying raw cards. And even when I was in Philly, I had my slab case and I did a lot of selling to one dealer. And they actually asked me if I had some raw cards, because I think a lot of people are really looking to buy some nice high-end raw stuff. And I'm not talking about, like you said, yeah, the nicer high-end items, because they want to submit them for grading themselves. People are still looking for that raw to graded flip, which is still your biggest profit margin. But right now, it's only worth doing it on high-end cards because of the cost of grading. I saw a YouTube video where somebody was talking about 4x the value of your cards. This is what you should be buying. And they were basically saying, buy this card raw and get it graded, and this is what it'll be worth if it comes back at 10. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, that kind of works pretty much with any card as long as it's not a dud card. So I was like, wow, like super original. But, let me see. You're saying Card Collector 2 Trade Night will be the event. Yeah, it might be. It might be if that's your thing. If you're looking for trade nights and probably lots of good social networking and things like that, it's probably going to be amazing. However, if I have card show fatigue, which I had in Dallas after every day, even if I miss it, I'll get enjoyment doing something like having a drink and just relaxing and unwinding and getting ready for the next morning, whether I take a tour of Chicago or do something. The plan is to attend the Card Collector 2 Trade Night for myself at the moment. However, like I said, things change. I fly in Thursday and I land at noon. So I have to get up early and fly in. I'm going to get as much in at the show as I can. Probably come Thursday evening, I'll probably be kind of tired. So we'll see as far as where I stand on that. As of right now, the plan is to go, but like I said, don't set anything in stone. Paul is a free agent. Do I think he jumped ship? Chris Paul? Paul George? Which Paul? Chris Paul? Don't know. You're staying at the Hyatt Regency? I'm staying at the Hyatt Rosemont. I don't think that must not be the same hotel. I'm staying at the Hyatt Rosemont, but I think there's a Hyatt Regency O'Hare, so I'm not staying at the same one. Goondrat, what's going on, man? Cardyield.com, what's up? Monstradamus talking about Randy Couture also. Neo, go Baker. Bravo! There he is, along for the journey. Guys, I'm way behind on comments. This Bravo's comment came in at 9:19, and it's 9:28. I'm almost 10 minutes behind, so I got to scroll to the bottom, but if I miss your comment, go ahead and put it back in. I see Ziggy saying, Brandon's going to stand me up for soccer again. We'll see. If I'm hearing that the soccer trade night is going to try to happen again, but we'll see what happens. I sold some of my nice soccer stuff during Euros, so we'll see how much more stuff I have to move at a soccer trade night. Also, remember, there was a trip that was given away to Sean Dozalek, and I'll probably be hanging out with him a little bit, just to hang out if he wants to. If he wants to. He doesn't have to hang out with me. And seeing, what kind of content and what kind of things he wants to go to. Maybe he wants to go to a trade night or to a soccer trade night that he may not be invited to, but he can go with me or something like that, just to add a little bit more to his experience, maybe get him to a party or something that he maybe wouldn't normally be able to attend. And then also I have no idea what I was going to say. I can't remember. Oh man, what was I talking about? Oh, I know what I was going to say. Ryan from Breakout Cards, who I had on last week, was talking with me today because he knows I want to search for a nice vintage card. He actually may meet me on Thursday when I get in, and that might be the first thing I do. And he might vlog that for some of his content, actually taking me around and helping me shop, because he's really good into the vintage and helping me shop for a vintage baseball card. So that might be something that he and I do also. Ziggy, you have 20 paper Bowman Otanis. PSA 10s, PSA 9s, Charles 25-ish. What company do you grade them? Well, you can't grade them with You can't grade them with PSA right now, Ziggy, just because of the price. You would, even if you got PSA 10s, you wouldn't get your money back out of them. And PSA 9s, same thing. Raws 25. If you go with SGC, you're going to have to hope for 10s because the 9 is probably going to draw raw card value, so you're going to be out of a grading fee. A 9.5 is probably going to just draw slightly above that. An SGC 10 is probably going to hit around maybe 175 if PSA 10s are going for 300. I don't know how much you bought them for, though, Ziggy. How much did you buy the paper cards for? Because you're looking at a $25 group submission fee through SGC, or like $30 a card. Raw on a majority of them will probably be your best bet, or at least sell some of them raw and use that money that you make from the raw cards to pay grading fees for a couple of the others, and then hope that your grading fees or you hope your grades come back well to make you profit on top. So basically, for every raw that you sell, it'll come close to covering your grading fee for another card. So if you sell one raw for $25, take that $25 and use it to send to SGC if you think you can get a 10 out of the next one. So at least you cover your grading fees by selling some of them. That would be the approach that I would take. I mean, SGC is getting stuff back in like 7 to 10 business days, I think. So, even as far as a quick flip, you still get them back in time. No grade situation. Here's the thing. If you go with a custom grader with custom slabs, somebody might not like that slab. At least if people don't like the looks of the SGC slab, at least it's standard. When you customize something, it's almost like personalizing it. Now it's even tougher to find someone who likes something that you had personalized or custom made. It's like buying a car and then doing all kinds of stuff to it. Then you got to resell it. It may be worth more with all the things that you've done to it, but it's going to be harder to find somebody that likes to buy it, that wants to buy it with all the modifications you've done to it. Jordan, what's going on, man? What's up? Miami Mike picked up a Hero, Genesis, and Select Gold Wave PSA 10. Nice on the Genesis. The Select Gold Wave, is that going to be the T-Mall Gold Wave? Which tier? Don't really think it matters. They all look pretty cool. I think Tyler Hero. I like all Tyler Hero's photos on its Select, all tiers. But I think I liked Concourse the best, where he's doing the little finger roll. And then I think I like Premier Level second, where he's like dribbling up court and looks all intense, and his shoes look cool. Joel says buy Jay-Z cards. If you can find them at a deal, though, but a lot of people are pricing their Jay-Z stuff pretty high. It's kind of like one of those things that if you were in early, it was good, but it's no longer a secret. I feel the same way about Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair cards. I just don't think that they're much of a secret, especially when you're talking about the 82 Wrestling All-Stars. And I myself wouldn't buy the 82 Wrestling All-Stars raw. The best way to do that would be to find them nice and have them graded, but they're so easy to counterfeit. Chaotic. When is someone going to talk about the KD market floor? Is here and the only one buying? You're talking about it now. Someone is talking about it. Chaotic Cards is talking about it. Well, the one thing, KD market floor is here, but that doesn't mean that he's cheap. He's at his floor, but where are his Topps Chrome PSA 9s? Right around $1,000, $900. Do you want to buy a PSA 9 of his Topps number 2 rookie subset, the white card that everybody crowned as his rookie card, but really it was kind of like a rookie subset card? Do you want to buy that in a PSA 9, even though it's probably around $150 to $200 with the pops on that card and more coming back? I mean, that card is just flooded. A PSA 9 regular Topps black border is still going to cost you probably $500 or so. and a PSA 9. So yeah, even though you're at a market floor, is it affordable for most? The people that can afford KD stuff right now that's looking for market or for basement is probably going in on like auto rookies and RPAs and things like that, which are really up there, even though they're down. So again, it's all about affordability, not just about basement. Like, yeah, basement is there, but it also has to reach affordability for a bigger demographic. Where are all the Giannis haters tonight? What is the game? What's going on in the game so far, guys? We got an update. Hey, you guys know I talked about the Bucks a lot. We do have the Olympics coming up. What do you guys think about the Olympics? I don't know how much popularity it will draw or value it would draw to the U.S. men's team. However, Roy Hachimura in an exhibition the other night against France put up 19 points, and Japan upset France in a pregame. Japan pulled an upset on France behind Roy Hachimura and his 19 points. I don't know. It didn't really get in the news at all, but it happened. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, it must have known that this was a chat full of guys. All right, let's do this here. We just block. Could put in timeout, but we'll just block. Not going to mess with that anymore. That nonsense. It was pretty funny, though. Was pretty funny, though. Let's see. Ziggy burner account. I mean, I don't know these days with so much, so many accounts with Ziggy's name in it. I was like getting trolled by a couple of them, or at least by one of them. Bless your heart. That was a good troll, though. That was actually a good troll, though. We say, bro, I'm not. No one is a better two-way player. I'm not sure what that's going to. What were people's thresholds for grading for the boom? Meaning, were people spending $10 to grade a card that was worth $30 to $50 as a PSA 10? I'm going to say yes, but that's because I feel like anything in a PSA 10 was worth more than 30 to 50 bucks at the time, I believe. Just because it felt like a PSA 10 on anything made it 10x. So if it was a $8 card, a PSA 10 was putting like 80 bucks on it. The Kung Fu grip. Yeah, 7-inch toy. 7-inch toy. Yeah, I feel like if that was the case, it would have to have been like, why would you buy a toy if it was only that big? No one is worse at free throws and threes. Well, free throws I'm going to agree with, but threes, I mean, Giannis shouldn't be a good 3-point shooter. I mean, it's just not what his position calls for. Should he be taking threes? No. So that guy goes hand in hand. If he's taking a bunch of threes and missing, then yeah, that's terrible. But he shouldn't be taking them. And if he takes a couple and he misses them, big surprise. He should be better from the line considering he's going to draw a lot of fouls. So as a player, you want to be good from the line. But look, Shaq is one of the best players to ever play, and he couldn't do either one of them either. He was just dominant inside, and he didn't even handle the ball. He doesn't have quite the mid range as Giannis has a little bit either. I know it was a different era, but you don't have to, shoot three-pointers. Should be better from the free throw line, definitely. But hey, they're winning. They're in the finals. And they've won 3 in a row. Bucks, really nice team, solid squad. I just thought the Bucks were deep. They can make a lot of adjustments. You guys heard me talk about that in my live drives a ton, where I was just like, the Bucks are just deep and they'll make adjustments. Whoops. Jay Thorne, do I think the NBA Finals cards will see a dip after the title? More than likely, the winner won't be the favorite next year. I think that all basketball will see maybe a slight dip after the finals. Not a lot. I think players that are still playing will see a dip because they're the players that haven't seen a dip as of yet. Players that have been eliminated for a couple weeks, like Luka, Tatum, even Trey, I think their dip is actually going on right now, and I don't think that there's going to be much more additional. I think that it's going to be stable. And if you look at trends, over the past year and a half, cards tend to start to go back on the rise as soon as the season ends. There might be like a week grace period, but just like with football, the Super Bowl ended after the Super Bowl ended after a week, stuff went down. And then after a week, the football cards actually started creeping up slowly right after that. Like with basketball, LeBron prices went down when the Lakers won the finals last year. And then there was a week period of a week when basketball just kind of staggered there low and then started creeping up a little bit. The best time that I think to buy is, maybe a week or a couple days after a player is eliminated from the playoffs. First of all, everybody's completely down on them because they just lost. So there's lots of negativity around them. And then another week goes by and they're completely forgotten about. But then as soon as the season ends, everybody's like, man, I got to start getting in on my basketball before the next guy does. And then it kind of creates not much of an off season. Like Neo says here, Neo kind of agrees with me. Neo says most basketball has seen its dip, which I think the same as well. Most. I think the stuff that hasn't is the players that are still playing. But the players that have been eliminated, I think that their stuff has kind of bottomed out. Yeah, free agency news and stuff. Guys, what do you guys think about the Jordan sale last night? I don't think I saw hardly any YouTube videos on it today. I thought that there would be a lot. I think a lot of people don't really even know what to say about it. Like, I don't know what to say about it. That's why I'm asking you guys. $840K? Legit? I guess it's legit. The person who bought it is legit. But what do you think of all, the card reaching lows, not record lows, but just being way down and then all of a sudden breaking the record that we thought would never happen? I know people are going to say that it's fishy because it's right before the National. I know people are going to talk about it possibly being a shill, not a shill, but just being driven up purposely. Maybe, I don't think it was a fractional. I mean, I really don't know where to talk about it. I mean, some people are going to say, oh, that's what we were waiting for. That's the injection into the market that we need because the Michael Jordan card is such an important card to the hobby and the strength of the hobby. Some people are going to say it's just one card, doesn't make a difference. So where do you guys sit with that? Give me some ideas, give me something to talk about with that. My opinions on the USA losing and how that could affect cards. I don't think them winning or losing will affect their cards. I don't really think anybody necessarily cares about the U.S. men's national team in basketball. I mean, we should win. If we lose, are people going to care? No, they're just going to say it's a bunch of all-stars that couldn't play as a team is basically what people will say. And if they win, it's what's expected. So I don't think there's anything baked in, and I don't think there's any and I think that there will be an excuse if they lose. I don't think people care a whole lot. Let me see. Gary Vee had a video on Jordan 2 days ago. Was it strictly on Jordan? I saw a video of his a while back saying he was going to be buying Jordans and LeBron Chromes at the National. But even with that being said, does that spark a record sale at the price that it went at? I mean, because the people that are buying this Jordans are people with big money, and I don't think they're the type of people that necessarily use Gary Vee's investment advice or even pay attention to Gary Vee. They're probably the types of investors. I heard it was the guy who bought the Mickey Mantle, and I might be wrong. I might have read that wrong, or it might have been misinformation. But I thought it was the guy who bought the 52 Mickey Mantle at a record price earlier this year that bought the Jordan last night. But I'm not 100% sure. This says Prism Laser or Disco. Is this going to be for... I mean, I like both patterns. I have some laser in soccer. I think the laser pattern actually looks better for Disco. If you're looking for value, I don't know the print runs on the two. They're probably similar. So it's going to all be based on what the buyer likes the best. Does the buyer like the laser look or the Disco look? So I don't really think for resale there's any one particular one to go with, because when you go to sell that card, it's going to have to be to a certain buyer that likes the looks of that card, as opposed to just being a liquid silver or a liquid base. It will draw a premium over a base, but probably not premium over a silver. Tal says the Jordan shill or wasn't a shill. Yeah, Tal, and I was there last night watching on Sports Card Live, and I believe you were there as well. The guy, it was you're absolutely right. That's what I read on Instagram, not the Mantle card. It was the Luka Logo Man. The guy who bought the Luka Logo Man is the guy who bought it. He's the guy who bought it. That's right. That was a mistake made by me. For some reason, I was thinking the Mantle card, but I knew it was a big card that was bought by a buyer earlier this year that also bought this Jordan. Timing is interesting on the Jordan. It doesn't impact most of us, but it's optimistic for many. Yeah, I mean, if it strictly sticks high end, a lot of people like to talk about rising tide raids all ships, but with a card like a Jordan PSA 10, do we see the trickle down effect to where it affects Jordan PSA 4s and 5s? I'm not really sure, because you're starting to talk about a big disparity between, pop reports. So, again, supply and demand. The demand for a Jordan PSA 10 happened to be there last night, and maybe you had two big, rich people with deep pockets going head-to-head, and it was all about timing and the right card being for sale at the right time for the right two people, for that seller. And then the next one that goes up, the guy who lost this one may be bidding on the next one, but he may be bidding against somebody that doesn't want it as bad as the guy that he just lost to, and it could go lower. I mean, with these auctions, you never really know. It's not like it's just a set price to keep selling higher and higher and higher. Auctions are very dependent upon multiple different things, and that's why a lot of people don't like to sell their cards at auction, because you could lose out. Sometimes you can gain. But auctions can be volatile sales, especially when it comes to rare cards, rare high-end cards. Now, base cards tend to usually have comps within, 10% of each other. What can one get for $800K instead of Michael Jordan rookie card PSA 10? Lots and lots and lots of things. Let me see. Again, comments are, well, I'm not too far behind, a little bit behind. Theodore says, Jordan sales, you don't get the interest. It's like 1% of the hobby that can afford those types of cards. Yeah, it's kind of like what I was talking about with Kevin Durant earlier. Being at his basement, but still being fairly expensive. Merle says, how many cards have I sold on my slabs? Only two cards in a comic book, but I've only listed like 5 cards. I do more shopping on my slabs than I do selling. In fact, I think I've only sold 1 or 2 cards on eBay in the last month. I haven't really been doing much selling at all. I've actually been in buyer mode. I like the market where it's at. I think it's realistic. I think you can get some good deals. I think you can find some nice items. You gotta think and be picky and choosing on what you buy, and look for the deals. Just don't take the first thing that comes at you. But I'm looking at stuff. I think I got some killer deals. I was supposed to get a package in the mail today, but it's arriving late, so I was actually a little pissed. It was coming priority mail. It was shipped on the 16th, and today's the 19th. So I know we had a Sunday, but apparently priority mail still runs on Sunday. But I'm thinking 16th. It went out on the 16th, not just labeled. So 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. I'm thinking today is the 4th day, and it was only coming from Pennsylvania. It was only coming from a couple hours away from me. I figured it should have been here, but it wasn't here. It says it was arriving late. I was hoping to share that card to you guys tonight, but it was a card that I got a really good deal on, a card I wasn't looking for at all. But when I see a good deal, I buy it. And I thought it was a good deal on a good card of a young player in football. Wasn't looking at it at all, though. I wasn't looking for it. It just happened to stumble through my search. And I was like, well, dang, that's a really good price. Do I think Select will ever surpass Prism when it comes to pre-2017 stuff? I do not. And that's only because Prism, yes, has lower pop counts, but Select does, but so does Prism. Like Prism pre-217 has low enough print runs to where, the demand will outweigh the supply, and those cards will always stay high. When you were looking at, like I talked about it this year, where Jokic had maybe 100 or barely 100 PSA 10s in a Prism, and he was the MVP. I mean, the MVP of the league, and his most popular liquid base card was super low in pop. The reason why Select, and it's strictly pretty much Select Premier level, not even Select Concourse. Select is passing in some of the later years, like 2019 product and 2018 product with Luka. Like the Premier level is passing the Prism because the Prism was way more mass produced in those years than it was pre-2017. When you look at it in football still hasn't made the same translation, even with the 2019 class. Kyler Murray Prism is still worth more than a Premier level Select, and that's because the football pop reports just don't add up to the basketball pop reports. Now, they could catch them sometime, but I don't think so. I don't think the football is printed quite as much as basketball, just because football is not as popular when it comes to people buying. Let's see. Yeah, I also saw a story where someone, a dealer was robbed of a Luka card, and then the guy who stole it brought it in the next day to the show in Dallas to try to resell it, and he was caught by security and arrested. Chaotic is looking for a Lamar Jackson flawless. I don't have a Lamar flawless. I have a Baker flawless. Yeah, I know you. Are you the one that you said you liked the Ravens earlier, and I said I liked the Browns out of that division? No Lamar, but I got a Baker. I like the Browns out of that division, so. My take on what made the hottest card at the National. I wish that I knew, that way I could load up on him before I went. But hottest cards at the National. High-end RPAs of basketball players. Otani may be still kind of hot. I think football is going to be moving. Tom Brady. I mean, some guys are hot. Are going to be hot no matter what. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, doesn't really matter. There's nothing that can cool them off going into this season. Now the season could cool them off, but nothing's going to cool them off going into the season before things happen. I think a lot of young quarterbacks, and I think in basketball, I think Ja Morant is going to heat up. I think Zion's going to be hot if people are willing to sell. I think Jason Tatum's going to be hot also. It's a given that the LeBron Chrome is probably going to be a hot card because it's already going up because Gary Vee talked about it. But it all depends on what dealers are willing to move their price at in comparison to comps. And I think it's just going to be deals. I think it's going to be whatever you can get a deal on is going to be the card that moves. I don't necessarily think it's going to be restricted or limited to just any set player. Breaking news, just got emailed that the National is canceled. That's okay. I'll still go to Chicago and just have fun. Chaotic, I'm an Orioles fan as well. I'm not far from Baltimore. And Shelly is also saying, a couple people saying that the Atlanta show was great. I haven't watched any vlogs on it yet. There was a couple out there, but like I said, I've been busy at work. But I feel like the Atlanta show, I heard good things about it. It's just crossed with the Dallas show, and timing. I think timing on some of these shows is a little rough. LeBron tops Chrome. I know that's one of Neo's favorite cards. Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, it's definitely two cards that I touched on. I feel like going in, those are kind of like no-brainers. As far as surprises, I don't know who some surprises could be. Something I haven't really thought about because, like I said, for myself, I'm just going to look for deals. Baker Mayfield flawless patch cards were hot in Atlanta. Yeah, I kind of get the feeling that Baker cards are hot. There's a big Cleveland fan base and a heavy card fan base from Cleveland. I mean, look at Ryan's store and Card Collector 2 and things like that. Lots of fans of Cleveland and people who collect cards in Cleveland and the surrounding area. So I just think Baker's a good pickup at a deal, just at a deal. Don't go out and overpay for your Bakers thinking that, he's a Super Bowl MVP. Could be. I'm not going to say it's something he could never do, but don't put that kind of money into him. Find a good deal and then try to find somebody to sell it to, the right buyer, somebody who likes Baker or is from that area. Then you can get your premium on it. Depot717, new subscriber, man. Thank you. Love the content and insight. Just got back into the hobby after 15 years. Welcome back. Tal squeezing Lillard into the conversation. Could be if there's trade talks. You're having Sam from Women of the Hobby on tomorrow to talk Atlanta. Oh, it's going to be in a video, not a live. All right, Neo, I'll see that definitely pop up. Miami Mike is on the Kyler and Josh Allen train. I think Kyler cards will be hot. They were hot in Dallas. He continues, I believe, to trend up. However, Josh Allen, I believe he has a lot. He's one of the players that I say has a lot of baked-in goodness into his cards and what can put them over the top. I mean, he was a top MVP vote getter last year. He had a career year. Do the Bills have to go to the Super Bowl for his cards to go up? That's kind of what I think. At least for you to see a substantial increase, in comparison to the price or the cost that you're going to have to go in, even on an entry-level card of his, like a select base or something. I just don't think there's a lot of room on his cards to grow because he has to really obtain, the brass ring, I think, in my opinion, for them to go up after having such a stellar year last year. I mean, look at Lamar Jackson the year before, won MVP, absolutely amazing, stumbled out of the gates this past season, and his cards just, they fizzled out and never really caught fire again, even though he played good down the stretch. There was so much more expected out of him than what he was able than what he did. It really hurt his cards. And if he would have even lived up to the expectations, there wasn't any room for his stuff to grow. I kind of put Josh Allen in that boat a little bit right now. Really excited to pick up that Jordan 840K. Oh, man. Well, if I get the card, hey, bring that to Chicago with you, Dustin. I'll trade you a Drew Brees card for it. I didn't grade Zion. Theodore, pop reports are crazy with Ultra Modern. Who didn't grade Zion? I didn't, but I didn't buy any cards of his descendant to get graded. Any Zion that I bought, I've never owned. I had 2 raw prisms of his base, which I sold his very first night back when he had that monster game. I never sent any of his cards in to get graded, and anything that I did buy was already graded, and I stayed away from the prism. I didn't get any prisms. I had some selects and a select. This might be, I don't even know what side of the case is on, and I can't even flip through here easily. This is probably my best Zion. You guys have seen this select the Concourse Red Wave. That's probably my best Zion. And I do got a courtside base, but it's a GMA. Big mistake. GMA 9.5, but the only GMA card that I own. You'll see. Maybe I can move that, trade it at the National at a trade night or something. We're laughing at Brian Sherlin. What did I miss Brian say? Oh, Brian and his Go Suns. I know he's a huge Sun fan. I bought majority ownership of a Jordan 10. Doesn't sound like a bad idea. Don't leave my boy Flippin' Steve hanging at the hotel again. Dustin never left me hanging. Brandon Chung one night kind of left me hanging. Not really, but he said he was going to message me where the soccer trade card night was going to be, and that didn't happen. Do I know what happened with Vegas fines? He's gone off the grid. I really don't. I still have him on Twitter. He's probably just busy because he got into YouTube and blew up really fast, and he got into the NFTs. But even before that, I think he did his own like mass buying and flipping, from like storage units and things like that. So he probably has a full plate of stuff to do as well. You getting into YouTube, guys, you get into it in the beginning and it has nothing to do with the ebbs and flows of the hobby for some people. For some people, even at the strongest point in the hobby, it just starts to be like, man, keeping up with YouTube content gets to be overwhelming. Even me, when I first started, I put out like 3 to 4 videos a week to the point to where I was thinking about putting out a video every day. It got overwhelming to me, and I backed off of my content to where I did 1 video a week. I didn't want to completely cut it out because I had established relationships that I didn't want to sever. So I found an equal medium. Hey, I can come on live stream once a week, do a video once a week, and still have those relationships. But yet with my job and my family, I still have time as well to be comfortable. So, I just had to find that happy medium for myself. And, if you're not using it, if you don't want to market yourself on a platform, then there really is no reason for you to do it every day. If you want to market yourself, do it every day because that's your thing. But trying to, do it with multiple things can burn you out. And where was I going with that? I just think that that could have been a thing with him. And I know a lot of people are talking about, well, the hobby, when the hobby goes bad, a lot of these content creators will go away and only the true content creators will stick around and things like that. But I'm talking about even under the best of circumstances in the hobby, even under the best of circumstances, you can be burned out. And if you don't find an equal medium, you'll just quit. You'll just quit because you'll feel overwhelmed. I mean, I've gotten to that point before. You guys have heard me talk about videos in the past where I was like, I don't know about the future of the channel, but I'm happy with my channel's growth and my channel size and the relationships that I've made. If it doesn't get any bigger, that's fine because I've met a lot of great people and I'm just happy to keep it where it's at and do what it does. And maybe for, Vegas, he just wanted to take a step back. Let's see. One thing also, guys, if you haven't heard, I heard Ronaldinho, the Brazilian soccer player, Barcelona and such, is going to be at the National, which would be my first chance to ever see or meet like an international soccer star. However, he's going to be at the Golden. Is he coming to the Golden Auctions booth or something? Now, are you going to be able to get photo ops with him? Is he going to be an autograph signee or signer or whatever? I really don't know. If anybody knows that, because I haven't had a chance to look into it, I just know that he's going to be there. So I want to see. I want to see. What are your options as far as like meeting him or taking photos or autographs or anything? Adam says, "Thanks for the content. You are welcome, man. Thank you for stopping by." Might not be a dumb question to see. When do you expect the peak of the big backlog from PSA to hit eBay? I think that some of it is, and I think that it will be stretched out. So I don't think you're going to see millions of cards hit eBay all at once. First of all, some of this stuff coming back is PC items. Some of it coming back isn't things worth selling at the moment in a down market. Everything's not going to come back at the same time. It's going to be returned in, waves. PSA is not just going to shoot them all out at the same time. And then again, everybody's not going to list at the same time for whatever reason it may be. So, I don't see, big influxes of cards hitting eBay all at the same time, especially of cards that are desirable. Anybody who is their brother type basketball player who had a 25-point game last year and then he was benched, but his cards are at PSA because he had a 25-point game, that kind of stuff people may be looking to cut losses at. You're going to find that stuff in bargain bins. You're going to find it on eBay and My Slabs for like $10 a piece, things like that. And more than likely, those things are just going to be on there as buy it nows. No need to run an auction on something like that. So that's just kind of the way they'll look at it. I think it'll come back in waves and it'll hit eBay in waves, but it won't be just like a big old tidal wave avalanche. Like Joel says, not everything come back at the same time. It'll be stretched out. Exactly, Joel. You got that one. Ziggy says, hookers and blow. I actually used that reference in one of my videos once. Let's see. Chris M., what's up? First soccer superstar to ever be at a show from what you've heard. So just great to see. And hopefully it's a good sign for future nationals. That's my thing, Chris M. That's the thing. I didn't plan on standing in line for any autographs. I think there's some really good ones that's going to be there that I wouldn't mind, like a Barry Sanders, I think. I think Hulk Hogan might have been announced. I might be wrong. But all I'm saying is that a lot of the players, a lot of the signers that are going to be at the National are going to be a lot of signers that you can obtain through other means, whether it's at another show or something like that, or maybe they'll be back next year. But this is the first time that I think I've seen like an international soccer superstar, that's from Brazil, not even from the United States, to be at a show. It wouldn't be surprising if there was some U.S. men's national team or retired players like a Clint Dempsey or something there. But for someone like Ronaldinho's international status to be there, like I've almost contemplated that getting a photo and an auto if I'm able to. It seems like a really good opportunity. Because I mean, not only did they get a international soccer star, I mean he's like a top probably 15 player of all time. Going to the National, look for comics. Hey, if there's no comics at Chicago, maybe we could take an hour or two or something one day, and if there's none at the National, and maybe hit up a comic book shop. Do that as a little side adventure. So he's only there to meet Ken. Well, there that goes. Maybe I'll have to just try to sneak a quick photo or something of him. LL Productions, what's going on? LL Cool J. Hey, Steve. Thoughts on this purchase? You picked up a 94 World Cup Mia Hamm, PSA DNA certified auto Pop 2, and an Abby Wambach 2003 Sports Illustrated for Kids, PSA DNA certified auto Pop 1 for $160 total. Okay, the 94 World Cup Mia Hamm, is that like the upper deck card where she's like facing forward and like kicking the ball? The Abby Wambach card I'm not super familiar with. For $160 total for two of the greatest female soccer players from the United States ever. I would say that's a good buy, especially if you like that stuff. They're PSA certified, so they're already slabbed for you. Or they just come with a certificate. Either way, well, he says Pop 2. So, I mean, if you like that stuff, I mean, I think that's a good buy. That's not too expensive. I know it's a nice Mia Hamm card. From a purchase and a PC standpoint, if you like that stuff, I think it's a great purchase. As far as investment, probably, if you were to look to resell, you could get more for what you put in. But I think that those are kind of cards that I would just like to hang on to. Oh, God, here we go. Here we go, boys. If you were traveling to a card show via canoe with $474,000 worth of cards and your new graded card case and your canoe capsized on the river, and you were hanging onto a branch near the shore less than, where's the rest of it? Less than 10 feet away from a 1,000-foot waterfall with your new card case in the other hand, which one of these people would you want to give you? Would you want to drive by on the road near the river, hoping for he or she might stop and try and save you before the rapids took you over the waterfall? Carson Wentz, Chrissy Snow, which is Suzanne Summers, Chrissy from Three's Company, Lando Calrissian Slash, or Latrell Sprewell. This is easy. This is easy peasy, Trigger Finger. This is definitely a Lando question. If anybody is going to come rescue me from a death-defying fall in a vehicle or a spaceship of some sort, it's going to be Lando, just like when he rescued Luke at the bottom of Bespin, the Cloud City, at the end of Empire Strikes Back, when Luke was hanging on to the bottom and had nowhere to go. Remember that. If he doesn't save Luke there, the Death Star is still alive and planets are destroyed. Lando, the true hero of Star Wars. You just bought a Mr. Rogers Pro Set hockey card. Is that an actual card? Which Rogers? Mr. Rogers, like the show? Sports Cards Anonymous. Anthony Davis or Kawhi Leonard? For investment? Probably Kawhi. Probably Kawhi. He might be moved in the offseason, so for right now, for immediate type purposes, I would rather be holding Kawhi just because there might be something. He may have a catalyst sooner than Anthony Davis, and until LeBron leaves the Lakers, Anthony Davis will just be another Laker. It doesn't matter how great that he plays. LeBron will always steal the thunder there. He'll make sure he steals the thunder there, whether he's playing good or not. He'll be the one in the media. So for me right now, I'm going to say Kawhi Leonard. because Anthony Davis is just another decent Laker player as long as LeBron is there, regardless of how great he does. Unfortunately, he's just in the shadow of LeBron. Kawhi Leonard is the leader of the team and probably the leader of whatever team he goes to. If he moves to another team, that's another huge thing. What if he lands somewhere like the Mavs? What if the Knicks do something crazy to get him and he goes to that type of market? I mean, Anthony Davis is locked in for the Lakers for a long time, which is a great market. However, LeBron is still there. To say Brian Basketball says, with the price of top loaders, should we start grading them? Let's see. 1991 Pro Set Platinum Hockey Mr. Rogers. There's a train going through town. CT says Lando did not go back for Luke. Chewie made him go after Leia said he was okay. Lobot is the true hero of Bespin. The guy who rose up through the top of the Millennium Falcon and got Luke was Lando. Okay? Regardless of what anybody said do or had to do or whatever. Not only that, he rescued them on the skiff in the Dune Sea because he was dressed as a guard. Or helped, anyway. I don't think Kawhi will be out for the full season next year, Willie Joel. Just even a better reason to buy his cards if they're down. No, it actually didn't go in my front door. It actually parked in my driveway. That's what it sounded like. It's pulling into the garage right now. Trigger finger, get out of here with that mess, man. Climb aboard. Look, my Lando card is right up here. I know Trigger, you're talking about Lando so much, you must want to see it. There he is. Strike up the hero music. Hero pose. This is the best one. Han and Chewie. Italian sticker. Epic photo. The best duo ever in the movies. Adam's asking about Topps baseball wax NFTs. I haven't done anything with NFTs at all. Well, that's a lie. I dabbled in Top Shot, but I got in and I got out of Top Shot when it was at its peak. I got in before everybody else got in, so I got in dirt cheap, and I got out at the peak. And I actually got all my money pulled out of Dapper and into my bank account. I was one of the lucky people. Just got lucky with my timing, made it, and did really well off of it. But I don't know a whole lot about the Panini or the Topps NFTs. Ziggy could probably have some answers for you on that type of stuff. Do I collect vintage Star Wars figures? I do not. Would I like some? Yes. I just have limited space and, things I want to collect. I got cards. I got some comics. I had a huge vintage G.I. Joe collection from the early 80s. Not the old big dolls, but the early 80s. I sold a lot of those. Star Wars, I had a couple of the vehicles. I had the sand speeder thingy, the little brown thing. And I had a Millennium Falcon. I had a Millennium Falcon original, and I had the original Death Star playset. But it's all old, and it's like in pieces. What do I think about Jay-Z, Jackson, celebrities, etc.? I love the celebrity stuff. Are we talking about Jackson? Are you talking about Michael Jackson? I love the celebrity stuff, whether it's old time rock and roll stickers, which you guys know about, that you guys know I like that stuff, or if it's stuff for my PC, like 90s grunge stuff. I do have a Michael Jackson card that I bought at the Philly show. It's a Michael Jackson relic card. I bought a Walt Disney card. It might be right up here, Fernando. I don't know if you've ever seen any of my stuff. That's my Soundgarden card. My old Walt Disney card. Everybody has seen this a million times. They're probably tired of looking at it. But I love the celebrity stuff and the oddball items. Now, that being said, I love them for PC. You know, Tony Hawk. I love them for personal collection. If they turn out to be good investments, that's great. If they turn out to go up in value, that's great. But that's just an added bonus. This is the stuff I collect more so than even sports cards. But it's not the stuff that I necessarily sell. There you go. Dustin giving us an update on Vegas. He's all good. Figured he was because I see him on Twitter, but he just is probably really busy. Will baseball ever return to the most collected type of card? Is it not the most collected? Do you think that basketball probably is right now? I'm really not sure. And in fact, I mean, if you look at all eras of cards, baseball might be the most popular. If you're just talking about modern, it's probably basketball. But if you're talking about modern and vintage and oddball cards and things like that, whether it's Cracker Jacks or something, overall, it still may be baseball across all genres, or all eras even. But in modern, probably not baseball. Even myself, like I said, I'm starting to dabble in the vintage baseball. I love the looks of the cards. I bought my first one, which was the Jackie Robinson. I fell in love with it, and it's making me want to look for some more. Vegas lost tons on Top Shot. Keep it real. I don't think that he did, Joel, because I think he was in really cheap. I just think he probably held during the time, when he could have made a lot of money. I don't really think that he lost, though, because I know that he sold one Top Shot moment that he got out of a pack for $20K. I know that for a fact. I saw him pull it out of the pack, and I saw his transaction. So whether he invested that $20K back into more Top Shot or he pulled it out, I don't think he lost on Top Shot. Dustin's still sitting on the Booker. Sitting on the Booker. It's on his couch. He sits on it like an egg, waiting for it to hatch. Just kidding. I had to give Dustin a little flack. See, Dustin won't have me on his off-centered night. Him and Brad, date night. They don't like to have me on because then it wouldn't be off-centered anymore. They'd have somebody. They'd have a balance. They'd have somebody on there talking sense. Rage, what's going on, man? What's up? What's up? Robert says, do you think you should sell or hold your Hulk Hogan O-Pee-Chee rookie card PSA 9? What year is that? Is that like a 1984 O-Pee-Chee? Is that considered his rookie, or are they still calling the 82 Wrestling All-Stars the rookie? I'm not really sure. Neo says we're not cool enough to be on off-centered. See, me and Neo should come out with a dual live stream sometime. Maybe we just do it 2 times a month so people don't get tired of us. But because I get a lot of people message me all the time and say, man, they like when me and you are on together. Off-centered is for old people. Man, I'm old, but I'm young at heart. On-centered. On-centered. That's funny. The Milwaukee Bucks shooting is hot and cold. They're going to be cool right off when they get back home. So here I am, right? So this basketball game is tomorrow. Here I am sitting on NBA.com, and I keep refreshing my page, and I'm like, man, my internet on my phone must not be working because this game isn't refreshing. And then I realize the game's tomorrow night. So I'm a noob. Everybody can put noob in the chat. Say Steve's a noob. He thought the game was tonight. I have 125 watchers. If the basketball game isn't on, I should have way more, right? I thought I was competing with the finals. Which player do I hate now because you got burned by some of their cards? That's a good question. Who did I get burned by? I mean, if it's going to be somebody for me, it's going to have to be really like old. Maybe somebody I collected way back in the day. My dog might get ready to bark because somebody's at the door, but somebody maybe back in the day that I collected that I got burned with. I'm really trying to think. There for a while, it was Ryan Tannehill, but then he bounced back, and I was able to sell all my Ryan Tannehill stuff for high dollar. Because I had given up on my Tannehill stuff that I had bought because I was a Dolphins fan. Who is somebody? I don't have anybody that I've put a lot of money into and got burned. I do have some players that I've soured on to an extent. I mean, easily from modern basketball, a player that I've kind of soured on a little bit is Kobe White. And I know there's some people out there, maybe Will Sani or Tal. Those guys like Kobe White, and I don't dislike Kobe White. I still think he has some potential. I just don't know if he's a player that I'm even going to gamble on or prospect on anymore. I mean, there was like 3 or 4 players that I had picked, and there's still like 3 of those guys that I like. And the 4th one that I'm kind of like cutting out of my budget now is Kobe White. And really, I didn't buy a whole lot of his stuff, but I do have a couple PSA 10 Prisms base. Joel coming in with all the injury takes tonight. Joel is the new NBA doctor, PhD. Kobe White is hurt for 4 months at least. Joel has got all the updates on the injury list. I know who to contact now for all my injury updates and news. Brian says, veteran teams usually win. Suns are taking baby steps, but they still have a chance to win tomorrow night. Agree. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Adam says that Paris Campbell burned him big time last year. You're way over invested. I can't remember who I sent it to, but I had a Paris Campbell Select Orange Pulsar numbered out of 13 rookie card. And someone won a giveaway, and they told me that they like Ohio State stuff, so I sent that to them. I don't know if it was you. I don't think it was you, Adam. Adam, your name is definitely familiar. I think I've made an envelope out to you before. Tal says you can get Kobe White for super cheap right now. I knew Tal would talk about Kobe White. He can score and he can shoot. You're right. He's a young shooter, but I just wanted to see a little bit more progression. As a young shooter, you're going to struggle. You're going to have really good nights where you light it up. You're going to have really bad nights where you shoot 20% and you stink it up. He started the season as a starter. He ended the season coming off the bench. Zach LaVine is the primary scorer on that team. They brought in a couple new players at the end of the season, like Vucevic. I just felt like Kobe White was kind of finding his way out of favor with the coaches because he was too inconsistent. As a young player, you expect ups and downs, but you want to see a little bit progression. And I think he may have actually regressed a little bit. That's all. Just regressed a little bit. Good night, Business 124. Thanks for stopping by. Rob said he's going to be looking for Tyler Hero at the National. His stuff is super cheap right now. I do like Tyler Hero stuff. He's still one of the young players that I like just because his marketability will keep him popular. And hopefully his level of play will also, go back up. We've seen that he has potential. It's just a matter of how he's going to be used. What's going to happen with the Heat? Big time questions. They might blow that team up, but yeah, don't know. I have a couple nice Tyler Heroes myself, and I bought them because I felt like they were at a really good price. And if I do see a decent one, maybe I'll look for it. Sold Donkey Kong Wax Box for $350, and a Rocky Pack Vintage Non-Sports is going way up day at a time. I was actually looking at the Donkey Kong individual cards. The different Mario cards. There's all kinds of different ones. Like him jumping a barrel or with a hammer. They're like, a lot of them are stickers, I believe. I think that stuff is cool also. Adam says, Bulls are point guard shopping. That is quite possible. Brian says, vintage baseball is king, modern football and basketball. I like vintage baseball. I have one card. I want another. I want to slowly grow my vintage baseball collection. I just don't want to spend everything on vintage baseball at once and have a really nice vintage baseball collection. I want to slowly grind my collection up, and it'll be fun that way. Setting a target for myself, obtaining it, it'll feel more satisfaction, as opposed to just going on eBay and being like, okay, I want that card, buy it, boom, arrives in the mail, bang, got it. I want to, I actually want to search around and compare different ones, because when it comes to graded vintage, it's not necessarily the grade. You want to look at one with good color and good surface, even though the grade could be lower than one that's got a bad surface, because it might have better corners or something. So, and I just think it'll be a fun hunt to hunt down the old type stuff. Prodigy, what are you doing? Prodigy, you're trying to give away my Tyler Heroes, man. Look at this. Turning on me like that. Prodigy, I'm going to be at the National. Instagram message me. This goes for anybody who's coming to the National and you want to meet up, even if it's for like 5 minutes to talk, or you want to meet up with me to trade, or you just want to meet up with me to get a sticker or to say hello, say Flippin' Steve, what's up, slap me in the face, whatever. Email or Instagram me. I'll check my Instagram while I'm there, and I'll be like, hey, where are you at? And if you're like, hey, I'm out front by the water fountain, I'll be like, okay, I'll be there in a couple minutes. We'll shake hands. So if you want to meet up, Instagram me. If you don't see me, if you can't find me, now you may just run into me by chance, but that would be awesome if anybody wanted to do something like that. I'm also thinking about, guys, bringing on guests from the chat. Not like an open mic night where Ziggy does, where people can just come on, and you don't have to be a content creator. You don't have to be a content creator. Just if anybody ever wanted to come on one night and just chat like I'm doing right now, but chat live with me and have some of the other, actually, because you guys talk and socialize with each other throughout the night. You guys just don't talk with me. You talk with each other. So maybe it would be cool for, one of you guys to see each other on the screen. Maybe Triggerfinger will come on here and actually ask me the Lando question, as opposed to typing it out into like 3 separate paragraphs. Maybe he'll just come on here and ask me my Lando question for the evening, and then he can go and bring in, and you guys can actually see some of the people that you socialize with every single Monday besides myself. So if anybody would be interested in coming on just to chat like that, Instagram me, let me know. And I'll be like, hey, here's the link. Come on in, man. We'll talk for, 5-10 minutes or however long you feel comfortable. Tom Bullard thinks people are overlooking the pre-90s Marvel cards, scene cards from 1966, and even a bunch of 84, 87, 89 for less than 1990s. Tom, did you see the ones I showed earlier? Because I said earlier that that's the stuff that I really like, and that's one that you've left out, the 1975 stickers. I'll show them again in case you weren't here when I showed them earlier. 1975 Marvel sticker, Doctor Strange. And 1975 Marvel sticker, Black Widow. I think that's the cool stuff for me personally. And I'm looking for more of that stuff, but it's just hard to find. Triggerfinger says if you get to 100 likes, you'll come on. I must be at like 20 likes, so he must think that there's no chance in hell. He's Vince McMahon in me, guys. He's saying, no chance in hell we get to 100 likes. Have a Flipping Steve happy hour at the National. I'm not that popular. You know how many content creators that are going to be there that are so much bigger than me that people are going to want to be spending their time with? I probably will go there and be completely unnoticed. All right, here we go. Jordan with a question. Thoughts on if Nat Turner and Collectors Holdings buying Panini? It's like their best interest to control the cards if they could, because they have bought companies that service the card. I'm one of the people that I really hope that the Nat Turner group doesn't buy anything else. Some people are like, oh, to make it great, it'll be the one-stop shop and all that. But I think the one-stop shop is like people are making jokes about it right now, talking about he's just Thanos putting together all the Infinity Stones and he's going to end up having all of them and have all the power, and it's like, it's like a dictator. I think there's lots of conflicts of interest. I'm not going to get into specifics because you guys pretty much understand yourself, but I think there's lots of conflicts of interest when it comes to owning a grading company as well as an auction house to sell the cards, as well as being an avid collector of high-end items yourself. It's almost like you're such a huge collector that you're trying to buy the hobby and control it, in my eyes. I could be wrong. You guys could disagree. That's fair. My assessment could be completely off. I hope that I am, because I don't want it to come to something like that. But I just don't like one person coming in and owning all the big major aspects of the hobby. Raid says he hates Nat Turner and no slime ball when I see one. Michael Ham, what's up? Michael Ham, one of these times I'm going to have Michael Ham on. I say that every week, but he tends to come and go. They and them are getting too deep into different but related items in the hobby. Careful. You will light Ziggy on fire talking about this. Well, we don't want to light Ziggy on fire. We don't want to light Ziggy on fire. C&T Collectibles always hang out with people who are less than me to make me feel better about myself. Love your pre-recorded stuff. Is that at C&T Collectibles, pre-recorded stuff? Rob, you got a booth at number 479. So you're selling, Rob? You're selling? Hey, Rob, if you're selling at a booth, let me know. I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but let me know if you have your own booth or you with someone else or something. Because I'll definitely stop by. I'll definitely write that down. Okay, my LCS, which is 2 hours away, they have a booth, and there's a couple other booths that I need to stop by. I have a couple items to give to a couple people because, yes, I have been buying small gifts for different people that are my friends in the hobby. I got to stop by their booths and drop those things off. That's going to be one of the first things that I knock out. Before I just get lost in the sauce of the show, I'm going to go to particular booths that I want to go to and target first, just because there might be somebody there I want to meet or see. So I will stop by 479. I don't know. We'll see. Not going to put you on the spot. Maybe you'll consign something for me and I'll give you a cut. We'll see what's going on. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll pull a trade. Maybe I'll buy something. But not going to put you on the spot with that. Dwayne is going to be there too. Man, there's more and more names popping up for people that's going to be there as well. Michael Ham, make a custom shirt, try to get to 1,000 subs and give something away at the show if I hit it. Michael, that's one of the things I wanted to have you on for, man. It is an absolute criminal sin that you don't have 1,000 subs. And it's not your fault. I just think it's because people don't see your channel on their feed. I wanted to have you on and actually do that. Do like, man, guys, let's push for Michael to hit 1,000, man. It's hit 1,000. That's a milestone. That's one of the reasons I wanted to have you on. Guys, if you're in my chat right now, even if you have to leave my chat, go do it and subscribe to Mike. What is my game plan for Tatum Optic Hollow 10 I bought? I think he takes a leap to the top 5-ish player next year. Yeah, my game plan is actually Tatum's that I'm buying right now. I'm holding. Tatum's not a quick flip for me at the moment, at least, before the season. Any Tatums I buy right now, I'm looking to hold into the season. I didn't buy Tatum to sell at the National or anything like that. That being said, like I showed on my auctions that I've lost recently, that a Tatum Optic Hollow got shilled. Tatum Optic Hollow bottom out at $630. A couple sales went off at that. I let it sit. I was like, man, I think it might get to 600. I was wrong. Yes, I was wrong. I misread that. I thought it was going to basement out at 600. It never got below 630. And now it's consistently selling around 750. But the last one I was bidding on went for 915. However, as you guys saw in my video, I bid 850 and I was legitimately the high bidder at one time. So my 850 bid was legit. However, somebody came back in over top of me and I wasn't going higher than 850 and ended up stopping at 915. But the winner had a zero rating on eBay, 0. So they were either a burner account for shilling or they're brand new and they overpaid. I'm not really sure. I don't like that. Even though it makes it look like a card that I bought for $740 2 weeks ago was already up to 915. I don't like that because I still want to be buying them around 700. So I would rather have a chance to be able to buy more than have a fake inflated sale make it look like it's more than it's really worth. Yeah, man, cards and fishing, man. Cards and fishing. I'm supposed to go fishing either tomorrow or Wednesday. Dwayne agrees. Holding Tatum. Tatum's just going to be hot. Like I said, I think Tatum's going to be one of the hot players at the National. I'm not planning to move. In fact, I wouldn't mind getting to a high-end Tatum. The thing that I've noticed, though, when you're comparing high-end basketball to high-end football, the price points are way different. Like, I know what I paid for this Baker Mayfield Flawless patch auto. I know what I paid for this one, way less. But I know what I paid for the Sam Darnold. I know what I paid for the Baker Mayfield. I mean, it's like, and if I look at basketball players that I think are the possible equivalent of these guys, their cards are so much more expensive. A flawless RPA of Jason Tatum is going to set you back probably over $10K. So it's like the difference between football and basketball price on comparable players is just crazy. Raisin told you 10 subs. See, Tatum was my biggest flip of the year, actually, guys, because I bought a ton of his stuff raw. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I remember buying Tatum Optic base for under like $3 a card. I bought a big old lot of them, like 16 of them, and it was under $3 a card. And I sent them all in to get graded and got a bunch of 9s and 10s and flipped them when they were, $300 a piece. So I did really good off Tatum Optics and Selects. I did the same thing. I bought 9 Tatum Concourse Selects, I think for $30. It was just a little bit over $3 a card, I believe, and graded them out as well. Tatum was one of the first things that I bought and flipped when I got back into cards, or when I got into the buying and grading and reselling. Tatum was one of the first ones I did. I still did the collecting and all that, but when I got into the buying raw graded type deal, Tatum was one of my first turnovers. Him and Tyler Hero. Bought Tyler Hero base prisms for $5 a piece, 2 lots of them for $50, 2 lots of 5, and graded them out. And all but one came back a 10, and I sold them during the playoffs last year when they were selling between $300 and $400. And Joel remembers that whole discussion I had with him. I was like, holy crap, I'm killing it off Tyler Hero. Who Dat, what's up? He says, Steve, any new comics? Who Dat runs a comic auction, guys. Got some good comics, and he's also into the card some. I do have some new comics, but they're raw, and I don't have them here to show. And it was some stuff that I bought a while back, like a West Coast Avengers number 62, I believe, because it was the first appearance of the Timekeepers. So I bought that long before the Loki series because I felt like it was a spec book. And I don't even know what the value on that is right now, but I bought a Thor book, the Thor book where Captain America lifts the hammer for the first time just because I wanted that issue. Things like that. I got a lot of raw comics, and I had to slow down because I got to get them graded. What did a green set you back? That's his best card by a mile. Or you must be talking about the Tatum Green Prism. I like that card also, Tatum Green Prism. I have a card of a player you guys probably haven't seen yet unless you follow me on Instagram. I haven't done a video showing it or anything. Let me see if I can pull to it quickly. Might not be able to. Might not be able to. But I thought I got a good deal on it. I said I hate this case because cards just sit in this case so tight I can't even flip through them or find them to get them out or anything. Got some good slabs here. Oh, there it is. Got some more good slabs here. Nope, you can't see them. Can't see what they are. It's a secret. Anyway, this is a 2015 Panini Select blue prism. You can't see the glow in the camera, but this is a blue prism Karl Anthony Towns. So it's a good color match, numbered out of 249. I don't really have a lot of Karl Anthony Towns stuff. I think he's a good bargain right now. He's still young. He's from the Dominican Republic, so he's got a little bit of appeal to a specific market. Minnesota, don't know if they're going to be getting better. They got some young talent, but I don't know if they'll be getting much better. But he could always be moved as well. I think he's a really good player. I think he's got a good price point on him right now if you're willing to gamble. He is a bit of a gamble because he's going to have to do more. But sometimes you got to gamble a little bit. Sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit. You can't, if you buy goats all the time, you'll have good cards, but all your money will be tied up. Risk it for the biscuit. Fu Yang says, hello, Flipper. Hello, Flipper. I'm a flipper, collector, investor, trader. I do everything. I'm realizing now, like I said in the past, maybe when I named my channel, I shouldn't have called myself Flipping Steve, but because then everybody thinks I'm just a flipper, and the hardcore people don't like that. Brian says he's thinking if the pro poker player get into ripping packs, I only have a few cards I've found, but they like to gamble. Pittsburgh, what's going on? Pittsburgh, are you making it out to the National? I believe you are, correct? I saw you in the Instagram chat. $86 Fleer sticker 10 sold tonight for $81K. Where does that compare to recent sales, guys? How is that? Where does that? I'm not really sure where that sticker sells at. Is that close to, maybe is that close to a record? Is it nowhere close at all? How strong of a sale is that for me? Let me know, guys. How strong of a sale is that? If he says he's just messing with me. The YouTube safe house. I watched Because I'm Carlos today, and he was doing a replay, or it was a video of a live stream. So it was a live stream, but it wasn't being broadcast live. But he did a great interview with Mike from, I believe, Baseball Card Collector, one of the guys from Bench Clear Media. And he was kind of addressing a video that they had put out the other day talking about the collapse of the market and things like that. And he was really hitting him with some hard hitting questions and really getting into the meat of the discussion. And, he was pretty relentless on his questions, and, Mike was fair and gave him good answers. It was a really good interview. It was very well conducted. And Mike also answered the questions and handled it pretty well. I enjoyed that interview today. Carlos, if you're listening or if you listen at all, props for that interview, man. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was real good, not pretty good. I thought it was real good. Am I selling any soccer? You have a ton from PSA, but seems like market is a bit of a null. May wait till it starts back up. I'm buying some soccer right now. Soccer market's strong. I believe it's the strongly driven collector-based market at the moment, other than older baseball. But I think that I love the soccer market. I'm going all in, not all in, but I'm really going in on some Pulisic stuff. The Pulisic card that I really liked to buy, so that I wanted to have a bunch going into World Cup, this on the horizon. I wanted to buy these in PSA 9s, and I was getting them at about 400 a clip, and now they're already up to 800, so I'm out. At 800. At 800, it almost becomes a sell, considering I was buying them for 400, and my end game was to buy, hold for about 8 months, and sell into World Cup hype. But sometimes you got to call an audible when things change, and you say, oh my God, that card's already doubled in price. Should I just go ahead and sell it now? Even though that wasn't the original plan. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Trigger. Fractional ownership recipe for disaster. Yeah, fractional kind of runs up prices on things and kind of gives a safe, kind of gives a false, a false value or a false comp on a card, because you have multiple people buying in on one thing. So Motley says Trigger is probably going to hold it for a while. I don't have any cards with that upside. Motley, what are you holding on to, man? What did I miss? I'd like to know what card you guys are referring to. Prodigy, am I selling my Rui slabs at the National? I'm going to kind of see how the Rui market is affected by the Olympics. Now, I know that I said earlier I didn't think the U.S. men's team would be affected by the Olympics, because if they win, they're expected to win. And if they lose, there'll be some sort of excuse like a bunch of great all-star players just can't play with chemistry. So I don't think that they'll be affected either way. However, an individual player who would get spotlight within his nation, like a Roy Hachimura representing Japan, could see a big market spike in his home country. So we'll see what happens with that. I like Rui going into the season anyway. He was really playing great in the playoffs. He put together some really good games, and he had some great games down the stretch. He's the type of player that I saw lots of progression throughout the season, especially when he was healthy. So earlier when I referenced Kobe White and I felt like he was regressing, I felt like Roy was progressing. I just wish he was in a different market. I do have Rui stuff that I would move. However, I have Rui stuff that I would hang on to as well. Let's see what I got here. Roy, Tyler, Roy. This is all the Roy slabs. Other than a select base just like this is all I'm holding right now. I have one select premier level base. I got a premier level red wave. I got two of this one. This is just a blue prism Roy numbered out of 299, and then I got a blue disco numbered out of 25. And I tried to pick up another one of these, but it went higher than I bought this one for, which again is a good sign. It went higher than the one I paid, so it makes me feel good about my original purchase. But something like that Disco Prism, I could maybe move at the National. Base stuff, everybody's going to have base stuff at such a big show like that. So I gotta have the kind of stuff that not everybody's carrying around with them. So it's a possibility I can move off one of their more rare Rui cards. It just all depends. Yeah, and even in the situation that he was in, he was very productive. His field goal percentage was really good. He was really efficient. On nights that Bradley Beal didn't play, you saw Rui putting up, mid to high 20s. Brian says he's got to go ship out some cards and post the video. Guys, go check out Brian Basketball's video when you leave here. Hopefully I don't give you YouTube fatigue, but go check it out. See what he is shipping out. Check out some cards. Yeah, that's the thing, Miami Mike. Roy just played great under the radar, and his cards are very well priced right now. Yeah, all smart investors should have short-term flips and long-term growth. Yeah, and that's what I do, and I like to take a lot of my short-term flips and put it into more long-term stuff. I mean, like I said, and this is a PC item. Like I said, I'll show the Walt Disney card again. This was almost $1,000. But if I didn't flip a couple cards and make some profits to buy that, I probably wouldn't have bought it, because it's like, I don't want to go spend $1,000 on a Walt Disney card just to put it away. But if I can make some profits off some lower end slabs and do it, hey. Tom says, and Steve, do you think if grading company was fully transparent with their grading, like literally providing details and scans of the card with the issues pointed out, that everyone can see would help? Let's see. Possibly. I know that with comic books, if you get a certain grade on a comic, there's a thing called grader's notes. And the actual grader that is grading your comic book will do like handwritten notes or typed notes or whatever to the flaws in your book and to why it was graded the way that it was graded. Now, it's not subgrades, but they actually give you grader's notes on the criteria that either hurt or helped your book. Something like that in cards would be really cool, but you're already talking about companies being so far backed up. If they did anything else, it would slow down the process of grading. And, PSA doesn't really need any help. Every day it feels like someone is starting up another startup grading company, which is good, but how many of these startup grading companies are really going to take off? It would be good to see some of them take off, because we want options in the hobby, but how long have we been hoping for SGC to take off? And they're actually already established and reputable. So, it's just slapping a card in a slab and throwing a grade on it that looks neat. I don't know. Again, I don't know. Grading has got me baffled at the moment. I'll consider to send my bargain stuff to SGC. I'll send my high-end stuff to PSA, and I'll mainly buy. I won't do a lot of my own grading at the moment. I have 2 orders out at PSA right now, and that's it. I have tons of raw stuff. You can see this box here. I can't even pick it up. It's so heavy. And I don't know. Just don't know what my options are at the moment. They're few and far between. See, Sanioto, I think people have been on the fence about who's winning. Been so even. I wouldn't be surprised to see Phoenix win tomorrow. Brett Morrison's says buy the card, not the grade, and also buy what you like. I 100% wholeheartedly agree with buy what you like. Buy the card, not the grade. I don't 100% wholeheartedly agree with that. I believe it pertains to the card. If you're buying ultra modern base basketball for investment purposes, you gotta buy. You're buying the grade. People are selling the grade. You're buying the grade. If you're buying super high pop stuff in 9s and 8s, it just doesn't make sense. But if you're looking at vintage, like I stated earlier, especially old vintage baseball where surface and color and the look of the card really matters, you're definitely going to buy the card, not the grade. You may think that a PSA 3 looks better than a 5. And in some cases it might, especially in the important factors of the card. So in that, I do wholeheartedly agree and buy the card and not the grade. But I don't think that absolutely applies to every era / and depending on what you want to do with the card. What if, and he says, big if PSA Collectors Universe bought SGC to handle their lower end base. I heard of that possibly being something, but I just don't know if it'll happen. And if they did buy SGC, would SGC be subsidized by PSA and still be its own thing? Or would PSA just buy out their facility and all that stuff and just use it as a lower end grading? Or would they keep SGC with the same name under the PSA umbrella? Would that change the value of SGC just because it was bought by a bigger company? Or would it have to change names altogether and all of a sudden they're throwing PSA slabs on SGC cards? And what would happen with currently graded SGC cards if the company was to go to sell or go under? You know, the niche that SGC has carved out in the vintage market is still very strong for them. What Rob says is buying over the years was always buy raw and grade. Now he's seeing yourself passing on deals because you don't know what is a good deal. Exactly. It's tough. It's tough. You support the company that does it now, BGS, when you can. I like BGS for my like stuff I had out earlier. For these types of cards, I like BGS, especially for their all autograph authentication. One thing I did realize the other day, because I started using the PSA app, so I started scanning my cards just to get a cool look at the pops on them. And I didn't realize that this Magic Johnson Kareem Abdul-Jabbar auto that I have, dual on-card auto, and a PSA 9, this is a pop 1, none higher. And I didn't know that when I acquired this card in Dallas. I just was like, hey, that's a awesome on-card auto of Magic and Kareem. You don't see that too often. And it's got jersey on it as well. I was like, you never see them. And you would think with them being two Laker greats that they would have lots of cards autographed together, and they just don't. You see more Magic Bird and Magic Jordan and things like that. I didn't know that was a pop 1, none higher. So now that's even a selling point. If I try to move this at the National, I'll be the only one in the room with this card. Whether it means anything or not, I mean, it still is a selling point when you talk to someone about it. You know, people will ask you, what's the pop on that card? Flea Market Mixtape. What's up, Steve? Just picked up 2 2012 LeBron game-worn jersey cards for under 100 each. First championship year, baby. Sounds pretty cool. Are they also game worn? Oh yeah, game worn. Say game worn. I like game worn. Tal says you like BGS and they're not doing anything to expand. Absolutely true. They're like been hidden under a rock. Nobody knows what's going on with BGS at the moment. It's pretty crazy for such a company that's so big, and they actually have their own comic book grading division as well, CBCS. And people are really starting to use them because in the comic book world, it's starting to have the same problems where CGC is starting to become the PSA and they're falling behind. People are looking elsewhere. And Beckett has a comic book grading division. Jordan says, any advice or tips for someone who is looking to sell off 60 to 80% of their cards because they're going in a different direction card-wise? Well, let's see. Is 60 to 80% of someone's cards, how many cards is that? If somebody has a 10-card collection of 10 really high-end items, that's 6 to 8 of their 10 cards. If someone has 1,000 cards, so it's going to be completely different. Like and what kind of cards and the amount are we looking for? What types of items are they? Are they the types, if it's a smaller collection of high-end items, single amount, don't sell in a lot. Anytime you sell in a lot, you're going to sell at a discount. But if you're selling a lot of stuff that you need to move quickly and you want to get rid of it, find a collector, an LCS. LCSs are always looking for inventory. Trust me. If they can buy a box of cards off you, say it's 100 cards, and they can give you $200, or they can give you $2 a card and then resell them for $5 a card. It might be worth their while to buy a big lot off of you. And then they have the means to sell it because they're in an LCS, as opposed to you putting it on eBay and trying to sell a bunch of $5 singles and getting fees and shipping, and it's just not worth it. So again, it pertains to the cards. No, what's going on? How you doing? He said, how's it been going? Been buying a bunch of PC stuff and excited to go to the National. Myself too. I have been buying PC items and I'm going to the National. Can't wait. Bad shipping. Bottom left corner, slight ding. Might be okay. Anyway, guys, we are just at 2 hours. If anyone has any last minute comments or questions they want to put in, feel free. If not, I'm going to turn you guys loose for the evening. Is it too early to buy Britney Spears? Too late? Just right. I really don't know. I've seen some cards of hers because Merle's World Cards sells a lot of oddball items like that. If you haven't seen his channel, go check it out and see his card shows and stuff and see a lot of the items that he has. But he had posted 2 Britney Spears cards, and I was thinking to myself, do Britney Spears cards, are they worth anything, or what do they sell for? I guess there's probably so little of a mark or so little of a comp on them that they sell for whatever somebody wants to pay for it. If someone's willing to pay up for a Britney Spears card or whatever their niche collection is going to be, it's tough. I really don't know, but Merle's got a lot of like cool stuff like that. He's even got his own set up on My Slabs. He's got a lot of his stuff on My Slabs. I've gone to his My Slabs link and looked at some of his listing stuff, wrestling stuff, just stuff cards that you didn't even know existed. And you guys know that I like that kind of stuff. So yeah, cards that you don't even know existed, wrestling and celebrities and sports as well. So, and he's got a cool channel. But all right, guys, I think I am going to head out. I'm actually getting a little bit of a sore throat because I forgot to get at water, and I've been talking for 2 hours nonstop. And yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. I should have a video out this week, another live stream on Monday. I only did maybe 1 live drive this week, and I told a little story. If you didn't catch it, go back and check it out. If you liked it, let me know. Let me know. Did you like the little story that I told? It was kind of a analogy, but just me talking, like I do in the morning. Didn't do many more of them. Didn't want to pop up on your screen every single day and you guys get tired of me. So I was just like, you know what? Live stream on Monday. I don't need to hit the live drive every single morning. But I appreciate the people who do tune in for that or go back and watch it. Again, guys, video, live stream, the National. I don't know if I'm going to be putting out content from the National. I'm not the kind of person that carries a camera around and vlogs and stuff like that. I might take a couple little snippets on my phone and put together a small video like I did from Dallas, but that will be like it. And I will have my rundowns and my thoughts and a finale on it, but I don't know how much actual footage I'll have. Thanks for joining me tonight, guys. Go find yourself some nice deals, some nice cards, some PC items, something that might make you some money to buy you some PC items. Do what you do. Keep doing it. Until next time, guys, good luck in your investing, and I'll see you later.